So this is the Xtreme Power US automatic suction vacuum. So I got this thing in, I've tested it a few times, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how it works, what's bad about it and what's good about it in this video. So it comes with several attachment of hoses, and they're broken up in pieces like this. That way you can make it the length that you want. So first I'm just going to go ahead and let some water get in it, and we're just going to start putting the hoses together. It also comes with a few weights, and it'll tell you based on how deep your water is where to put them. So for this pull, I'm going to put one about right here. Just let that go down, and go ahead and keep water filling in there to make sure, try to prevent a whole lot of air from getting in there. And then I'm going to put one right here and put that other weight about right there. That's the two weights I'll need for this pull. Now I'm just going to go ahead and connect several hoses to this, and we will plug it up and let it start vacuuming. You'll get to see what it does. If you look down here, you can see how the pool water, the pool floor is pretty dirty, so hopefully we can get some of that cleaned up here in just a moment. So let me get the rest of these hoses put together. Now when you get to the last one, you're going to notice that the ends are identical. They're the exact same on each end, where the other ones are different on each end. So this one here is the one that goes on the end of it, and then you put this piece in here. And this right here actually adjusts the pressure of the water, and it will speed up the vacuum, slow down the vacuum. I'll explain a little more of that and why you might want to adjust the pressure here in just a bit. But we're just going to go ahead and plug the final piece in, and let's go to the skimmer. Now in my setup, I just put it in the skimmer right here. Take the skimmer basket out, and then we're just going to push this right down into this. You may have a spot on the outside or the inside of your pool here, or if it's above ground, it could be a little different, but just put it wherever you would put it if you were vacuuming. And then we're just going to turn the pump on. And let's go see how it's doing. And you can see already it is just going ahead and cleaning the bottom of the pool right on up. Go under. Now when it does vacuum, it does do a very nice, as you can see, very nice clean streak. You can definitely tell where it's gone. Now this doesn't have any special high-tech sensors or anything like that. It simply just moves around in circles. When it touches a side wall, it'll kind of circle around. It might climb up the wall just a little bit, and then it'll just kind of find a way and just continue to keep moving. It'll hit some of the same spots over and over, while also hitting some new spots, but it will do a pretty fine job of cleaning the pool. So as you can see here, it's starting to come around the bend. And it moves at a pretty good pace at this pressure, and you can see how nice it just goes ahead, and you can see where it's been. Now you might ask, well, what about if you have a ladder or something? Well, that's what we're going to show you here in a minute. Now, if you have a ladder or something like that in your pool, it might actually get stuck on it. And the type of ladder I have, it does. There's a few things you can do. You can go ahead and adjust the pressure, which I have, and you can slow it down, and that might help eliminate it from getting stuck in the ladder. And it has reduced the amount of times it's got stuck on mine. The other one, if you have a ladder that's easy to remove, you might just remove it. But if you have one like mine that's fairly big, I just put it out here. I'll adjust the pressure a little low, keep an eye on it, and when it gets stuck, you kind of got to help it out. So we're going to have this go over here to the ladder and see if it'll go over there and get stuck. Now you can see it's coming up into this ladder, and because my ladder actually has a pretty good size opening here, it actually does get hung up in this spot. it can't get out and I have to help it out. Some other areas it does get stuck is in these smaller areas here as well. If you see right there, it'll get stuck in any of those areas from time to time, and you can see that. So you kind of do have to help it out just a little bit. Go ahead and move this. Now I've moved it, and you can see how if it don't have too much, but it's got a little lip right here that it also kind of gets hung on. And when it does, I have to take something and just kind of nudge it. And then it'll move on its merry way. So let me show you how we can change the speed of this and change the pressure a little bit. So the first thing you'll need to do is just turn the pull pump off, and then if you pull this up, you can see this right here, you can adjust the pressure. And of course, looser opens that a little more, so it weakens the pressure. So if we take this, and we're just going to move it down a couple, I'm going to move it down here actually quite a ways to the second one, and you're going to see a big difference. And then we're just going to plug it back in. And turn the water back on. And then let's go ahead and go find the vacuum and see how it's doing now. So you can start to see now it's made several paths. I've had it at this lower pressure setting, and that's where I typically keep it on this pull. In the short time I've had it, it don't seem to stir up quite as much when it's running through there. And it does do a pretty fine job. At times you can just turn this so it's coming toward a ladder, and you can kind of angle it in a different direction. If you'd like to try to hit a spot that it seems to be missing, you can kind of try to guide it a little different path. But for the most part, it's a really nice device. It really is pretty cool, and while you're your best if you remove a ladder or anything, and then you could just go ahead and go inside for a couple hours, let it do its thing. If you got some obstacles, you have to check on it once in a while, make sure it isn't stuck, and help it out. And then once it's done, you might need to touch it up with a vacuum in some spots and corners and things that it misses. But for the most part, I'm going to let this run a little more, and then we'll look at the pull one more time and show you how well it has been doing. But there you have it. Basically just go ahead and find the setting that works best for you. I like the lower pressure. It runs a little slower. If you want to really vacuum quick, turn the pressure up. But if you have objects, it's going to get stuck more frequently. On the lower pressure, it's kind of going to slowly go around the pull. It's not going to have quite as much pressure to go into some things, so you're going to reduce the chance of it getting stuck. Also, hose length. Reduce the hose length if you want to. It comes in little attachments, so you can reduce it. That way maybe it can't reach an area, or it'll have a harder time getting to an area where it gets stuck. Also, by shortening the hose, it may get an area that it wasn't getting otherwise. Maybe it'll stay in that confined area. So sometimes what I've done is before I completely put it up, I'll go ahead and remove a couple hoses, plug it back up, run it an extra 15-20 minutes, remove two more, run an extra 15 or 20 minutes, and then go ahead and take it out of the pool. That way you kind of get it in different lengths if you want to. So it's basically, for me, not 100% automated if you have a setup like this, but it's definitely much easier, and really a cool device. For only, I paid about 80 bucks for it on Amazon. And you can see how, I mean, you just kind of let it do its thing, and it will slowly clean your pool for you. And here it's going to come up to the ladder. Got a little lower pressure, and you can see how it's just going to kind of go right. It's going to hit that, and then you'll see how it starts to just kind of go right around that. And you can see how it kind of turns. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple hoses out of it, restart it for just a little bit, take a couple hoses out of it, and then slowly put it up. So I turned it back on after removing 2 pieces of hosing. And to get you something, or have you a spot shed or something, I have this little box here. It's waterproof, sits outside, and I can put all my hoses in here. I can put my vacuum down here. There's some other hoses, there's a regular vacuum head. I even have some of my chlorine, which heat ain't the best spot for them, but I don't have direct sunlight hitting them, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. And then I'll just go ahead and put it in here a little by little. So I turned it back on, actually raised the pressure 1 bit, and have it running with a different hose length. And by doing that, it'll actually hit parts of the pool, from what I found, that it didn't on the other hose length. So you can see it's already going to a new area of the pool. Right now it's running over an area it hadn't ran over before. You can see it going right through that and picking it up nicely. There you go. That's pretty much it. That is the Xtreme Power US. I do recommend it. I think it is a really nice automatic pool vacuum. It just kind of runs along the pool. You can just sit out here, kind of watch it, and help it out just a little bit as needed. But for the most part, if you don't have any obstacles in your pool, go ahead and set it up and let it run for a long time. Take a couple hours at really cleaning up your pool. Just a ladder or anything like that might be an issue. I think it's more geared toward underground pools. We're testing it in an above ground vinyl pool, and has been working just fine. Well, you are watching Barry's Pool. My name is Barry, and I want to thank you for watching this video. For all of your pool needs, I have a website. It's easyclearpool.com. There'll also be a link to this vacuum in the bottom of the, or in the description box on the bottom somewhere down there. Thank you guys for watching. I'm just going to leave you with a little bit more footage of this vacuum.